Hello everybody, we are live. Game number 3 between fslynx and ColonelFatso in the 24 Mavs tournament. Hello everybody. So this is actually the last game of the tournament, and I hope you will enjoy the next 1 hour. It's 1-1. There was 2 games like you can think, and yeah. Now we have actually game number 3 in the tournament, the last game in the tournament, about 3rd place. You see both right now having the start in the MMX number 1, the intro stage. And yeah, as you can see, there are the bees what they are right now fighting with their meshing. Lynx has a small advantage right now, and both try to bring their HP down to 3 HP or lower. They can actually be already on low HP right now. There's a possibility called task cars where you can actually bring your HP down without losing any time. The reason why it's called task cars is because you don't know if the cars are shooting you, and it could be even that you're landing into the gap and go into your death. So both have right now HP to go for task cars. ColonelFatso right now having some problems, but managed to bring it down to HP. And Lynx is going for the safe strat to have 3 HP without using the task cars on the top. And we have here the ship right now, and the ship is putting out 2 cars minimum, and you want that the ship is in the right spot. And Lynx, fslynx, I hope you're fine when I'm calling it just Lynx, has the small advantage here, and has the grabs time of 1:58 and ColonelFatso of 2:01, so we have 3 seconds difference between both. But that means nothing. So again, everybody, welcome to the last game in the MMX 1 to X3 24 Mavs tournament, where we are finding out who will be number 3 in this tournament, since you already hopefully saw the finals between Luis Miguel and Nero_X2, where Luis won by 2 of 3 games. The 24 Mavs tournament is actually a tournament where you have only to fight the 8 Mavericks of each game. After the, I think it was 46 Robot Masters tournament in the classic Mega Man games, the Mega Man X community decided to bring a similar tournament into real life, and we play only the 8 Mavericks of every Mega Man X game, what are 3 times 8 Mavericks. Between the games you have a 30-minute difference where you have to wait. That helps people who are not playing default to change their controls, or who are not playing on consoles and on consoles, that they're even. So you will see in the end of the 8 Mavs both waiting 30 seconds after they finished the 8 Mav of every game to start again the next game. And here we have the situation why we go to Chill Penguin first, because in Mega Man X1 you actually don't start with the dash boots or with boots what can dash. Dash is a fast pace movement in the X games, and here you actually have to take the boots by a capsule what you can actually not skip. And this dash boost gives you the ability to go faster in the game. So you will always see in that kind of categories that the players will start with Chill Penguin to get the dash boots, and finally can speed up the game a little bit since you are starting without them. And we have a 4:14 door for fslynx, and ColonelFatso has slightly behind the 4:15 door, so they're both very close to each other. And here we have Chill Penguin. Chill Penguin is a bird, and birds are really interesting in some Mega Man X games, especially Mega Man X1. So Chill Penguin can make ice sculptures, can slide, can shoot ice blocks, or can go up. You actually want that he's always doing attack movements, that he's not sliding, and both manage to kill the boss almost at the same time, so we are almost a synced situation between both, what is always the best for a race when they're really close to each other. We have a 1 second difference between both. Next one will be Boomerang Kovanger. What you mostly go in this run is getting some weaknesses to then follow up to the next Maverick until the end. And both will be normally not taking any securities, means health heart containers or sub-tanks. So they will always have in the whole run 16 HP in every game, I guess. And 16 HP means in some games that you can be very close to die when you are getting too much hits. So right now you see a small glitch what gives the game when you are just dashing against the side walls. If you would just directly go into the side walls, you would take damage, but since you are dashing from them, you can actually, it looks like you get damage, but you're not getting damage. So yeah, it's kind of a swag, you don't have to do it, but it's actually to avoid any enemy to touch you and every spike. And the Boomerang Kovanger stage is a really technical stage. You have to do a lot of climbs, movements, dash jumps over enemies and be really fast to not get hit. Finishing with the boss fight where you have to actually bring Kovanger into an infinite loop that he's trying to grab you, what we call the Kovanger dance, to actually always hit him until he starts to teleport, what normally can start when he has 50% health or later. There are even possibilities that you get him into an infinite loop, but this is just RNG based. So you see from both right now the dance. So Kovanger tries to catch them every time, and that can be going for a very long time, like you see on Lynx right now, or it can already start. And ColonelFatso managed to heal Boomerang Kovanger around 3-4 seconds faster than Lynx, so we have still a close race, but ColonelFatso's movement looked like it was a little bit more clean and less damage and less mistakes. So we have a small gap already between them, but some RNG can definitely change everything. Since Mega Man X1 is a game where it has some boss what can actually causes the player to lose time. For example, Storm Eagle who can start to dive, or Armadillo who has a shield, and before you not hit him with the electricity, he can infinite, let's say, roll, so you can actually lose a lot of time. Here we have another RNG situation where these small blocks can fall in front of you, behind of you, so sometimes you cannot dodge them, and sometimes you can dodge them, so it's of course definitely a skill thing, but sometimes you cannot even avoid to get hit. And yep, Lynx just taking the life, you never know. This is one of the fastest stages, and since we're playing only the 24 Mavericks, most of the runners are not taking, like I already said, anything up. They're just trying to pass the stage as fast as possible, and hopefully having the weakness in some bosses if they needed to. So we have right now Sting Chameleon, a very easy boss, but has already a kind of a speed strat even when you play it casually, when you're just using the boomerang from left to right. You see already like he gets into infinite loop that he's always trying to go in the top left or in the top right. So even if you had not been a speedrunner at that time, you already made some speed strats what are still used today. So small gap between both. The PB between both is actually, I think, 1 minute difference. I think fslynx has a PB of 1 hour 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and ColonelFatso has a 1 hour 3 minutes and 54 seconds. But that means nothing since it's a race, and PB attempts are always a different thing to actually a race where everything can happen. So yeah, both entering Storm Eagle, and after Storm Eagle actually the route can change. You can make a Flame Mammoth whenever you want after that. So some runners are making Flame Mammoth as stage number 8, some of them directly are number 5. So the route can change, but it makes no difference between, there's no speed up if you play Flame Mammoth early or late. It's just like how you like it. And you see both right now using the platforms. There's actually a possibility to go for a death kick, but only save some frames. But in a race, of course, it would be too risky just to save some frames to go for that kick where you're actually grabbing the platform from the right side after jumping under it. And both right now entering the boss fight. 10:31, ColonelFatso entering the platform to 10:32 to 33 for fslynx. So both are very close. Here we have already a RNG boss again, what can change who's in front or back. That depends if Eagle will dive or not. Both looks like they are both staying on the ground. So they had both a really good pattern, what means Storm Eagle didn't dive, what causes time. So both actually had the luck, what you need for a run like that to not lose time. Ends up 11:11 to 11:13. We have 2 seconds difference between both. ColonelFatso on the lead. Means nothing. We have still a lot of Mavericks to fight. And the sensation of the Mega Man X games was and is that when you're defeating a special stage, then the other stage get interrupted. Since the Storm Eagle ship crashed into the Spark Mandrill stage, here we have a lower electricity than normally. Means it's more darker and it's easier to play. The mini boss what they will fight right now, what has also RNG, is actually a possibility that he is stronger in the when you're not killing Storm Eagle. So yeah, we have here the mini boss. The mini boss can stay in the top or can come down. If he stays in the top, it's not easy to fight him because you have to use Storm Tornado and everything. When he comes to the ground, you can actually mash boomerangs or the Chameleon Sting weapon into him. What is his weakness? What causes a quicker fight? So ColonelFatso has the better RNG, and Lynx right now a little bit more behind, but not much. And like I already mentioned, there are still some others. For example, Armored Armadillo or Launch Octopus, what can give an advantage to the one to the other runner because of RNG, what you cannot manipulate actually. So yeah, better stage for ColonelFatso, a little bit in the lead, and right now you see the same pattern like always. You can actually froze Spark Mandrill and give 2 shots on him, one to froze him and one directly after frozen him. And as you can see, the runners always try to finish into the middle of the stage. For what reason? In Mega Man X1 actually the character is going to the middle and then it starts to get out, like the music starts that you're beating the boss. So that's why they always try, at least in Mega Man X1, to finish into the middle. In Mega Man X2 and Mega Man X3 it's actually not important where you stay because you directly have the music starting. Now both going to Flame Mammoth, so they have the same route. That makes it easier to follow up until the end of Mega Man X1, since they're going both the same route. Flame Mammoth stage, one of the fastest and shortest stage in the 24 maps tournament in any percent. The same, like any percent and 24 maps have very much similarities, so the runners just go fast and just manage to use the dash, going over the platform, trying to not get hit and enter the boss door. And very precise shots here from ColonelFatso. Getting hit by the green guy in the end can happen. And Flame Mammoth can actually be hit twice from the Storm Tornado if you put it correctly. So you can actually get a double hit what makes 6 damage. They normally start with a dash lemon. A dash lemon is a lemon what you shoot like your normal shot with the dash animation what makes 2 damage. This helps a lot to give more damage that you saw also on the Chill Penguin fight. So you see here double hits and yeah, they try to finish in the middle. 5-slide penguin. I think there was no 5-slide penguin actually. Do you want me to be more emotional, Jeff Markera? I mean, I can shout out, but then like my neighbors could knock on my door and say, "Hey, what are you doing, you crazy fool?" No, it's okay. So we are going to Armored Armadillo, one of the last two bosses who can actually have a big RNG. And yeah, it's a very fast stage. You use the mine cards to just go as fast as possible, destroy all the enemies on the way, and yeah, don't get stopped. And yeah, all the items they will not take, and yeah, they will just go fast, trying to avoid any damage. And in the end, they will just jump on the minecart for the reason that if they are staying on the mine, they will spawn some birds and they will cause a lot of lag. So you see them jumping from the platform. So they are, in the moment when the minecart is connected to the ground, each time it will spawn a bird. So they were just jumping in the moment and then entering the door from the top. Okay, so I go to the normal speech again, as I can make it not correctly. ColonelFatso actually had a good pattern with Armored Armadillo. He had only 2 rolls. This guy can roll forever, or never, we say. So 3 roll for fslynx, both had okay patterns. ColonelFatso with a bigger lead right now, because of mostly the mini-boss of Thunder Slimer of Spark Mantle stage. Small advantage. Now we go to the last Maverick in the Mega Man X1 game. And yeah, biggest problem about this right now is that you are with 16 HP, what is really low HP, and you have to be careful because you can hit by rockets and everything. So you could be having a little bit an HP issue against Launch Octopus, because Launch Octopus makes 4 damage with the body hit and 2 damage with his rockets. He also can make whirlies, we call it, or whirl energy drill things, what make him impossible to attack. So you can actually yeah, have to wait or can jump into him using the fire wave strat to bring him out of his attacking to save some time. You see them right now fighting 2 submarines. These submarines can actually do 3 things. They can shoot you, push you away, push you in, or just scan you with the light, what they always try to destroy. And what you see right now is that fslynx has already a little bit lower HP, gets right now the hit from the rocket, so he's under 50%. Perhaps he will try right now to wait until this mini-boss he's fighting right now will drop some HP. No, he goes for, so he will try to dodge the attack. So we have right now a little bit hard situation for fslynx, but hopefully he will manage to dodge all the fights attacks to just finish the game. And ColonelFatso about to finish the fight, 1 more energy drill, and he finishes with the 1856. Lynx right now dodging all the things jumps into. Nice. Okay. Another energy drill. He's not jumping again inside. 1 more hit. Oh, this is bad RNG actually. So 1917 I saw, this looks like a difference between 20 seconds between both. And we are off to play Mega Man X2, and there we're waiting until 30 seconds will be passed. And yeah, so it looks like we have a 20-second gap between both. Like I already mentioned in the beginning, between the games X1 to X2 and X2 to X3, the tournament creators decided to give a 30-second gap so people can change their button configuration, or if they have issues with their console and everything. So it gives no advantage to someone who plays, for example, default, what means with the direct possibility. So yeah, In that case, you will see between X2 and X3 another 30-second waiting of both. So they will just use what the tournament creators made as a rule, and then they start after 30 seconds after finishing boss to the next game. And here we have no RNG boss in the beginning. The only no RNG boss of the Trilogy games, where you just have to make a CFO strat. CFO strat means you put a normal shot followed by charging up in a specific order, so you will destroy him before he even can use an RNG movement, what could be jumping or using his hand to you. So the only not RNG intro boss for us. And now we will start with Mega Man X2 with Wire Sponge, one of the RNG bosses. Wire Sponge is actually somebody who can go into an, let's say, energized mood, so you lose 8 seconds. You can actually defeat him in the top. And we see ColonelFatso taking the heart, so that means he took a security heart to be just safe. And yeah, in the beginning the weather is not RNG. Later there is a possibility to get RNG, what means the weather can change between rain, cloudy and sunny in the section. Right now ColonelFatso is actually the best pattern, what means cloudy in that. And you want that in the second part. What you see right now, it's sunny, it went sunny, so ColonelFatso is actually the best RNG weather pattern what you can have. As it looks like, and since I have the audio from fslynx, I didn't hear the sound to get in heart, so he's not even taking a security heart here. And fslynx got rain right now. And now we come to the boss, Wire Sponge. He can make a shield, he can jump to you, he can jump in the top or shoot his wireframe to you. And what you actually want is that he goes around 50% of his HP in the top, so you can actually destroy him. ColonelFatso actually waited for that, he gave him chances to go up. And now he has this energy thing where he's invincible and makes more damage actually. So when you're on low HP, it could be that you are close to die, but ColonelFatso managed it to defeat him. And you see right now on the left that fslynx got the luck that he went up, so we have a sync again, because it's a big difference of time if you make him angry or not. That's why we call it never over, even if somebody has 20 seconds lead. You see they're almost synced again, just because of RNG. Now it's just a difference of 3 seconds again. And that brings us to the next boss, where we actually take an item called the Buster Upgrade. Why we take the Buster Upgrade? To use some of the weapons charged, what makes the fight faster and easier than not taking. So we are taking the disadvantage of losing some seconds, I think like 10 or 15 seconds, to get the Charge Buster Upgrade to actually speed up the game, because we are using Russian Burner and Charged Wireframe, what helps us a lot to speed up the game. So yeah, both in the capsule, very close race again. It can go forward and backward between RNG and movement and everything. So you see them right now using a lot of charged wireframe here and there, because this causes the player or the character to be faster, because you are trying to reach the walls. It's a speed up item. You will also see them right now, instead of using the platform, they're using a damage boost to walk on the platform, like on the spikes, you just saw them. Since you have an invincibility frame situation of around 3 seconds, that you can actually go on spikes. And we had some issues here from ColonelFatso, what brought fslynx actually in the lead again. The next boss looks like an RNG boss, it's actually not. Because you actually can bring Gator into an infinite loop to attack him, If you attack him and you are not fast enough with the second shot, you actually have the situation that he can dive underwater and you have to wait until he comes up again. But if you just do it in the right situation, what is like a 5 or 10 frame window, you actually can infinite one-shot him. So Lynx had some problem here, but he managed with the lucky situation that Wheelgator came out again quickly. He can wait along, shoot 2 wheels, or he can jump out quickly. So we are still on a good pace for both. Not a big difference between both. And looks like a 4-second difference between both. What is in a race like that? Definitely nothing. And after we defeated 2 Mavericks right now, you will have an animation right now where the counter-hunters, what are having actually the parts of Zero, our friend what died in X1, challenged Mega Man X to fight them in their stages where they appear to get the Zero parts, but we're not fighting them. We're just playing the 8 mass, but the animation you see right now is the animation that you actually, in the stage when they appear, you have to fight them. If not, you're not getting the Zero parts. So, both going into flame stack, using the wireframe and using the charge wheel here and there to just speed up and use weapons here and there. Now they're climbing. This is a big climbing situation. In the early version of it is rough right now. In the early beta version of Mega Man X2, this lava actually was an instant death, but they changed it. Good for fslynx, I would say. So it makes a ton of damage, but it still not kills you. So yeah, luckily they didn't make that situation that you have actually an instant death with lava connection. And ColonelFatso right now entering the second door with a 27-17, followed by fslynx with I think a 27-25, yeah. So we have an 8-second difference between both. And you see ColonelFatso climbing together with Flame Stack in the top, taking some damage. Best is of course that Flame Stack is using fireballs, what you just see right now, because the iframes, the infinite frames, get resetted in that moment and you can kill him actually faster. So you just want that he's actually not doing that what he's right now doing. And now he's doing actually that fire animation, what is very scary because he can shoot the fireball up and down. But fslynx managed with his skill to just dodge them and don't die with 1 HP. That was a clutch. And brings us to the situation that we have now. That's what is wonderful. So, going to the next Maverick right now is Moth, the Morphing Moth. And yeah, in Moth, you actually don't have the upgrades what you actually connect in the any % route. That brings us to the situation that you perhaps don't have enough weakness of Moth in the end. If you use too much Rushing Burner, what you can use in that stage to speed up a lot. So you will see the runners using a lot of normal busters and the wheel and charged wire sponge to not lose too much of their weapon ammo, because you need actually the fire for Moth. And here we have 2 mini bosses, right? You can jump, shoot something at you, or just stand still and fall down after you beat them. So the best patterns is actually that they stand still and just directly drop, or they shoot something at you. If they jump, depends on the jump, it can be long or short. And there are 2 of them, you see that right now on ColonelFatso's screen. You will actually fight them with a wheel. You can even use a charge wheel if you want. And yeah, this is RNG based, you can not really force them to do something here and there. And Lynx had actually, I think, twice the situation that he shooted what is the second best pattern. So he had some RNG and luck, and The biggest problem about the fight from Morph is that he makes a ton of damage, so try not to get a body contact with him as much as possible, because every body contact makes 7 HP damage, and even when you have the armor it makes still 6 HP damage. So that's why you see them right now, hopefully both not getting too much damage, but actually there can nothing happen if they just fight him correctly. Lynx right now using Charge Burner and then Fire, so according to the RNG luck he had and good execution, Lynx caught up a little bit, so a little bit time back and gets closer. Since we are right now coming, I think to... Do we already come right now in that route to Centipede? I think, yeah. This boss is actually the next RNG based boss. Big RNG here can change a lot between them. So, I think a difference of, I would say, around 7 to 8 seconds between both can actually easily change right now in the end of the boss. You see them right now using the Rushing Burner a lot, because the Rushing Burner can actually bring you into the situation that you can even go between some of the enemies, some of the blocks. And the reason why they went to Morph before is that they get the weapon from Morph what actually can kill the sword in one attack. That's why they use Morph before. And they still like go with the Rushing Burner. They try to dodge right now the alarms, so these blocks what are coming down are really slow. If they touch an alarm, the blocks come faster. There's a radar you just saw on the ColonelFatso screen, and when the radar is touching you, not only you lose time, also this mini boss what you fight right now gets a weapon upgrade what also loses time, and that's why they are just trying not to get any radar touch. And ColonelFatso managed somehow to not get crushed by the block, what was impressive. If you jump in the right moment, what you saw right now from fslynx, if you're in the jump animation, this block can actually not destroy you. He can only destroy you if you're on the ground. So ColonelFatso having the best luck what you can have, starting with the tailspin. Now the same for fslynx, that is impressive right now. Both having the best luck what can be in this game means the tailspin glitch actually means they both like the Mavericks started for both with the weakness thing what is called the tailspin glitch that forces Centipede into an animation. He cannot go out. Lynx had some problems here with one teleport, but in the end they both had no problem with that boss, what is actually in a race kind of good, because that has not like a big advantage of the other one, because Centipede can actually show shurikens grabbing you with a magnetize move, or use his tailspins to go for you, and they both have the luck that directly he started with the tails going for you, what forces him, if we do a special dash jump to the wall, that he is staying in that attack forever until we let him out by killing him or moving on the wall. So, going into next stage with movement and Rushing Burner. When you use right now the Rushing Burner against the mini-boss in the right time, you actually bring that mini-boss to not spawn, you don't have to fight him. There are crystals coming at you, you can avoid them by going on the ladders, everything. There are some power-ups you actually don't take. And you see them both right now rushing through the stage as fast as possible. With ColonelFatso starting the fight and fslynx almost starting the fight. So, there is no RNG. Do it correctly, you start with the Dash Lemon, then force it with the Charge Buster, and then you actually use... Oh, okay, should not talk about this. ColonelFatso had some problems here, but he managed to defeat Crystal Snare with normal magnets, and you just saw right now on the left from fslynx how normally the fight looks like. You use a dash lemon, continued with a double neon short, using then his weakness to put him out and bring him into the animation that he's always jumping up and down, that you can hit him with the same mine over and over again until he's dead. So Lynx catching up a little bit here, and 2 more Mavericks in the Mega Man X2 game. Now we are riding the bike. Yeah, we are riding the bike. Actually, just execution-based stage, trying to bring the bike until the end and going into the boss fight. So, using rushing burner and then going some climbing parts before entering the bike section, what means you are trying to bring the bike into over everything what is blocking you, like the ramps and everything, and yeah, not taking anything with you, like the heart containers, they're hidden, trying to bring the bike until the end if you can. ColonelFatso just destroyed the bike before, it's not a big deal. Both do that, it looks like it's fast. Before was always the strat to just bring the bike until the end, but perhaps it causes you, if you're doing it wrong, that you softlock the game. So that's why they perhaps both destroyed the bike when they're reaching the part where you don't need the bike anymore. And we destroy the rocket, and that makes Overdrive Ostrich, the bird without wings, into the animation that he's really angry at us. So we'll fight him right now. And what you see right now with ColonelFatso is that this guy has some weird iframes. So they put a normal lemon shot together with 2 of their crystal shots, what brings you into the situation that you are saving 1 complete shot, because every shot makes 3 damage. And fslynx catched a little bit up against ColonelFatso, he's still in the lead with a 37-11 hands up. According to a 37-16 hands up means a 5-second difference between both. Going into the last stage of Mega Man X2 before entering Mega Man X, the longest game of the X trilogy. So, another fast forward thing, since we are not collecting anything. There's a mini boss, a fish, what we have to destroy. We are normally using the sonic slicer, and there's a possibility to destroy the fish on the ground, even didn't get hit. ColonelFatso has to attack again. That the door is opening. And that brings us to a tie, that small mistake. What is interesting, because we love races what are almost tied. And right now ColonelFatso, second behind, brings us to the situation that we are almost even, what we love as viewers and commentators. And now they're climbing right now the section, entering the boss, 38-24 to 38-25. Lovely. And they right now fight the boss, Bubble Crab. You can actually bring him to the situation that he gets a double attack of the charge. We'll see what they are doing right now. But there is a possibility actually to force Bubble Crab into the situation. He's staying on the right side because he's always following you when you're hitting him with a weakness. And we have a 38-53 to a 38-54 finish for both. That makes it insane thing for a 3-game difference between RNG, execution and everything. And so both will come almost in the same time starting X3. What should be a big hype for every watcher right now, since this is game 3 of these two. So that means the winner of this game will win the 3rd place. And you see their sync. So the last game will decide it, and they're both starting it at the same time, so no advantage for someone. That should be something really hyped for everybody who's watching right now. So, this game number 3 in the trilogy is deciding for the 3rd place of the Mega Man X 24-match tournament, going together side by side into the last game. Good luck, guys. You need it. So we start the intro stage. It's a long stage, but at least we have still the dash input, what brings us from the beginning on, like in X2, to the situation that we can speed up, like not in X1 when we have to start with walking. And yeah, the story behind is that our base got attacked, and we have just right now to fight our way. And it's the first time actually we even play Zero, but since we're only playing the 8 maps in this game, we are only playing Mega Man Zero right now on this small intro stage, where Zero tries to bring take Mega Man X out of the hands of the corrupted Maverick, what was just catching him, climbing here and there, using gap jumps, and using the saber, what is actually very important in any percent or 100% run. The saber from Zero, what you get later as the weapon. And here we have the Maverick just appearing, and you are just finishing him with a charge shot and a saber. And this platform can only be destroyed after that Maverick is destroyed. So you can do whatever you want. You have to Maverick gets destroyed, that this platform gets destroyed from a normal shot even. And now we fight the intro boss. And this intro boss can have some RNG. He can attack you with his hands, where he can just attack far away from you. That is completely RNG. Luckily it is not so much time lost, or say if you get attacked or not. They are always hitting the face, and it's actually you need 2 full charge shots, and the rest are normal charge shots, green shots, to defeat him. And we have a 41-47 finish to a 41-50, 3-second difference between both. Mega Man Zero puts in and says, we have to find the Mavericks and we have to... You know all this text. I mean, if you want to know the whole story, please watch the text. I cannot speak Japanese right now, and I don't know it. So, we go for the first Maverick, called Blizzard Buffalo, and most of the stages are very long. This is actually the longest game of the Super Nintendo games. And yeah, we have even some mini bosses what are appearing from stage 3 to stage 8. One of them, they will appear, and there are 3 stages they can come, and they will appear in one. And here we have some ice physics, what makes the character actually be faster on. So you see them right now on ice, if it's like a ramp or whatever, that they are using them to speed up. These ice physics are some annoying parts for casual players, but of course the speedrunners use them to their advantage to just go fast and destroy all the enemies before they spawn. And also they will use some gap jumps here and there, climb the ladders. Gap jumps are jumps when you don't go on the ladder, when you just jump between them, so you jump in a precise movement. And yeah, I don't even know if they are both using the... yeah, so fslynx is going for the upgrade, the dash boots, and ColonelFatso too, so that makes it even. Nobody has the advantage of not using the dash boots. These dash boots are important for one reason. You can not only dash forward, you can also dash upwards, and that makes some elevator climbs later much easier. And you just saw the advantage of ice, what they're using right now to enter the door. And here we have the most clever boss in the SNES category games, Blizzard Buffalo. So, what is the problem with Blizzard Buffalo? Every time when you jump, he thinks you jump over him. So you jump and he is always knocking to the wall and saying, yeah, you jump to the wall. But he's not really doing it, the character. We are just telling him he's doing it. So they made some problem in the, let's say, programming, and that helps our runners to defeat the boss very fast. And we have still the difference between both of around 5 seconds. Yeah. And, well, of course, Blizzard Buffalo, if he's not in his animation, really hard boss, because he can freeze you, he can catch you and bring you into the wall, he can shoot some ice, so he can be a tough boss if you're not putting him into that animation. But as long as you are doing the right thing, he is not a problem. So, second boss, Toxic Seahorse, we have the weakness of him right now, the ice. And the biggest problem about the Mega Man X3 game is that a lot of enemies are doing a ton of damage. So you will see like some situations that a normal enemy can make until 6 or 8 damage, what is, when you are playing with 16 HP, a lot. So yeah, the creators just add, I think, not the clue that this can be really hard, so they say, yeah, okay, what can we do? We just make the normal enemies harder. The good thing about this game is actually that if you use the ice weapon against some normal enemies, they will drop always health, so even when you have the disadvantage of getting a lot of damage, with the ice shot, what you just get here as the first enemy, you are actually having the possibility to gain HP back or refill your something if you need. And here you just saw the mashing skills of both. You can put as much ice as you want, because this guy, this mini-boss, has no really iframes. And there's 2 broken bosses in this game. What we are fighting, one of them right now, Toxic Seahorse, and later Crush Crawford. When you use his weakness in a special movement and momentum, you force him that his iframes are out-knocked for a special time, and that brings the possibility to put a lot of ice into Toxic Seahorse right now and killing him very fast. And ColonelFatso having some problems, but managed to not die, that's good. And right now, like, if you put it in the air, you can actually mash into him and you can 2-cycle or 3-cycle him, because you are just forcing him that his iframes are not activated. So that's why you see right now that mashing skills, and he's dead in 2 cycles. So now we are having the situation that you get a cutscene, what is unskippable, where Dr. Doppler, the main villain, it looks like in this game, is crossing his hair and thinking position, and 2 mini-bosses will appear, Bit and Bite. In the next 3 stages, Bit can appear in the rooms what are in the middle of the stage. He can appear in the next stage, the following, or the 5th stage. And Bite, the big one, can appear in stage number 6, 7 or 8. It's completely random, and yeah, since this is the any percent route, you have not the problem like in 100% that you need actually weakness for later. So it is actually not so important when they show up. And right now we are fighting or playing Tunnel Rhino stage. Tunnel Rhino stage, actually one of the stages where you have a lot of damage enemies, and you have also bikes, and you have a mini boss what you have to mash out if you want to be fast. So a lot of things can happen here. Also, of course, Bit can show up. So what you see right now for fslynx, Bit shows up in the stage where you actually have already a lot of difficulties, but you can actually force Bit into the pattern that he's attacking you in the moment when you're in the air. So he can jump as long as he wants, he can even stop, and Lynx had a really good pattern and a good execution, so he didn't even lose any HP. The advantage what ColonelFatso right now has is only because of the Bit fight. Later he will have to fight Bit in the next 2 stages, what brings it to the even situation again. And so even when you see right now a small advantage, it will be synced again after stage number 5. What is in this case, I think it will be Crush Crawfish, we will see. So right now you see fslynx fighting the mini-boss. ColonelFatso already finished it. The mashing skills depend how fast they will defeat this. It can be a 2-cycle, a 3-cycle or 4-cycle. If you see them killing this mini-boss in a 2-cycle, you know that these guys are really good in mashing skills. And what I just mentioned before, since ColonelFatso touched one of the tanks, This tank cost 4 damage. So he lost with 1 touch, just 4 damage, and enters right now Tunnel Rhino with 3 HP. But Tunnel Rhino actually, we have his weakness. So if we every time hit him with the weakness, we make 3 damage. And since we didn't die before, Tunnel Rhino makes always the same movement. He can go to the wall, or he can stand in the middle and just change directions. So there's actually no big RNG. If we would have died during the stage, Tunnel Rhino can actually make more attacks. He can put out drills in the beginning and then runs to you, or lets like his shoulder drills out. So I don't know why is this so, but the developers somehow didn't thought about that. So Tunnel Rhino has less attacks when you don't die before. If you die, he has double attacks. So that's why we know when Tunnel Rhino does this or that. The bosses in X3 actually get more damage if you are shooting him with a dash. That is only a thing what is in X1 and X2 and X3. They corrected it for the bosses, but the enemies, the normal enemies, still have the situation that when you're hitting them with a dash lemon, you make double damage. So yeah, bosses actually only the normal weaknesses and not more damage if you use a lemon with a dash together. So we will see if ColonelFatso right now has a bit in this stage, or if he has to wait until the last stage, what would be Crush Crawfish. Right now ColonelFatso has to fight Bit, and right now fslynx is passing him since ColonelFatso has to fight him. So you see right now after that room how much advantage fslynx has according to ColonelFatso. And we will see it in the end fight. There's a little bit RNG in the catfish fight. The reason why you shoot a lemon in the last moment against Bit is when you defeat Bit or Bite with their weaknesses in the last shot, you force them to explode, what causes time, and you just want to scare them away. So you use actually a lemon shot or a not weakness shot in the end. So they are just getting scared away and you save time. Also in every run it's important that you don't accept max percent, you need to scare at least one away. So they will appear as God Car Machine in the end. And a little bit RNG, a little bit I would say in this fight. You try to put as much charge busters into Catfish. When he has 50% HP, he will go into the middle and use a drill situation. So right now you see that animation from ColonelFatso, and that means he always does the same attack and uses the drills for weakness. And we have a hands up from Lynx from 5340 and waiting for ColonelFatso's hands up. See right now where we are in the. So we have a 5340 for fslynx, hands up. Let's see what is the time for ColonelFatso. .5405. So we have a difference between both of 25 seconds. fslynx is 25 seconds on the lead. Going to the last 3 stages, time will be ending in the moment when we defeat the last boss, last Hornet will be. So we have a 25 difference right now. Entering right now the Crush Crawfish stage to get the weakness for Neon Tiger. Every time when you are clipping a wall, you can use the air dash. So you will see sometimes here and there the runners using air dashes here and there by clipping the wall to get the momentum. And Crush Crawfish is the second boss, what I already mentioned in the beginning, what has the possibility to get cancelled iframes. When you're using his weakness in the right time, you can actually force him to use a lot of normal lemons attacks into him, what you will see right now in fslynx way. So in the moment when you attack him and you are just bringing him to the special animation, you can use a lot of normal shots and to bring the HP really fast down, and that causes the possibility to beat Crush Crawfish completely not intended in 2 cycles. Yeah, so we have like a 24 to 25 difference, correct? But this is definitely an interesting strat, and MMX fun to watch as a normal player, because yeah, these bosses can actually make some really hard damage if you don't have the weakness. Like playing Toxic Seahorse not with the weakness is kind of hard, and Crush Crawfish is the same. So yeah, somebody mentioned earlier that some bosses are very easy to defeat. I agree, but I want to mention that only when you have their weaknesses, they are really easy to defeat. For example, most of the bosses, when you don't have the weaknesses, I just mentioned Toxic Seahorse, I just mentioned Gravity Beetle, and many others. When you don't have the weakness, they are making a ton of damage, and you will have a big problem to defeat them. And what you just saw right now is fslynx using the weakness of this mini boss, what is ice. He needs 5 ice shots, and he just needed a 1 cycle very fast, and tries to enter like being next to the door to go out again. And what you can use right now is you can put the drills in front of some enemies, so they will just not attack you. And now can Bite appear in the next 3 stages, and for fslynx, he has again in the first stage when he can appear, this was the appearance of the mini boss Bite. Bite is weak to drills. Biggest problem is when Bite is actually touching you. So as long as he's not touching, you don't have a problem here. But when he touches you, he makes a ton of damage, because he has a really strong fist, let's say that, and rotating arm and everything. So they put just the weakness, the drills into him. The drills are making damage, and the most important part, just force them to just run away and not actually get exploded, is that the last hit, when the HP goes down to 0, has to be not the weakness, what is actually in that case the drill. So they just run away and don't explode. And here we have a boss right now. fslynx was as RNG. Tiger can shoot his neon ray splasher. He can go to the wall. He can jump away from the wall. He can stay on the wall. And when he's on the wall after his shots or before, he can actually use his charge attack, what is a claw. But since the runners get the weakness from Crush Crawfish before, they force him with the blades actually that he's going always to the wall. So they brought it out from the RNG. You see right now from ColonelFatso that he stays on the wall. He can directly fly away like you saw it right now. Neon Tiger can actually block you shots when he's not in an attacking mood. So you cannot put the Charge Buster into him when he's not in an attacking mood, except when he's on the wall. And you see right now ColonelFatso even taking Neon Tiger out with the weakness. So like I mentioned already before, all the bosses are actually really weak if you use their weakness, but if you don't have their weaknesses, they are pretty strong and pretty hard with their attacks most of the time. And now we come to Gravity Beetle, and we have, in my eyes, the strongest weapon in this game. What are the blades? What we got from Crush Crawfish. These blades make destroy mostly every enemy in one shot, and helps us to speed up in many stages as fast as possible. So Lynx, fslynx going to Gravity Beetle stage, and I think ColonelFatso still has to fight Bite. So here we have a small elevator where we also, again, the spinning blades. And yeah, Gravity Beetle, another boss where we fight with his weakness most of the time and bring him into the animation that he's only jumping and say hello, nothing more. So yeah, most of the bosses really weak against their weaknesses, but really strong if you don't fight them with their weakness, because you have to dodge a lot of projectiles and things. So you will see right now 2 more bosses before the race is over, and fslynx right now using the weakness against Gravity Beetle. And what does Gravity Beetle do? Yeah, it tries to be next to you and hug you instead of doing any attacks because you're attacking with his weakness. Very nice. Very intense fight. So yeah. Sorry for that, but I don't know what they thought about that, the creators, but this is how you fight Gravity Beetle. And we are coming to the last stage for fslynx. What is Blast Hornet? Blast Hornet has actually an elevator in the beginning, then a mini boss fight, another section of climbing, going downwards, and then fighting Blast Hornet. So we are about to finish that race very soon, and yeah, very intense race, starting both at the same time in X2 and X3 in the beginning. And here you see right now the climb, what you can make by dash jumps, what is very precise, or using the up dash to climb the part. You can even use the slow elevator if you want, but no, not for us. And here's the mini boss right now for fslynx, in the lead, and has just to fight Blast Hornet. I think ColonelFatso has actually still to fight. No, sorry. ColonelFatso already fought Bite, the big boss. I'm sorry. So they are both on the same stage, and there's only the advantage of the time. And they're going right now into the last stage, fighting the last enemies. And I already mentioned, if they want to be sure for the last boss, they can actually use right now the ice against the normal enemies to refill their HP. They can also go, of course, without that, but it depends on the runners if they want to go with full HP, because Blast Hornet can make a lot of damage when he's using his charge. You can actually use the weakness, but it's much lower than the second weakness, what are the blades. So you see right now fslynx that he used the ice to refill a little bit his HP. He got damaged, but he has only 2 HP less, so he's at 14 and fights right now Blast Hornet with the second weakness, what are the blades, instead of the real weakness, what would force him into the situation that he cannot attack you. So, let's see the last fight, both entering the last fight actually. Soon, ColonelFatso 2. And there's one hit. This charge attack actually is really easy to dodge. So fslynx right now using the blades into him because the iframes are shorter than the weakness. 2 more shots to go. 1 more shot. And with a 1 hour, 4 minutes and 3 seconds, fslynx manages to finish his race. And since I watched the leaderboard before, I think this is a new personal best for fslynx. Congratulations to fslynx by this time. And we are right now seeing the ColonelFatso using the blades, having, of course, in 50% when Blast Hornet is having 50% of HP, it goes into the infinite loop, what you see right now, using a radar at you that he's small bees, what he has just come. And we have a 1 hour, 4 minutes and 48 split time. So, GG to both runners. with the 24 maps tournament last match of the year. And a really intense race, a really close race in the beginning of X3, and Lynx just managed to play it a little bit faster, but not much, and only a difference of around 40 seconds. Very, very good race, very nice. A lot of changing leads between both, between X1 and X2, and fslynx taking the bronze, and I hope it was nice. We have somebody here.
Hello.
fslynx, hello. Congratulations to your 3rd place.
Thanks.
Let's see if we can, if ColonelFatso wants to join or not. So, how was your feeling? Did you the other stream? Did you watch the race somehow, or did you just play and say?
Yeah, I was watching it from my phone,
Okay.
so I was completely paying attention to it.
So every time when you had some seconds, you watch where you are each other. I think a little bit.
Yeah,
So
pretty much. I take a look when at the end of X2, and I saw that we both killed Crab at almost the same time.
Yeah, that
And
wasn't.
the
That
pre-
was insane. That was nice. Really cool.
Yeah, the pressure was real at that point.
Yeah, and then you started both in the same time in X3, and here we have ColonelFatso. Congratulations to your 4th place. I hope this is
Thanks.
not negative. That was a nice race. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to play.
And as already mentioned, you had been synced in X3. That was really interesting. So you had both at the same time. How was your race? Give some words. Did you enjoy it? Like, did you feel the pressure? Did you watch the streams? How
Yeah,
was
I was definitely watching the whole time. Definitely knew exactly where everybody was at every time. Yeah. It was interesting because we also had a sync going into X3 in the first race, and I won that one. But I guess Lynx took it this time, so
Yeah, I got X3 this time.
yeah.
I literally just saved like, I don't know, 23 seconds in X3 in my PV.
So is it correct, Lynx, that you have right now a new PV in this 24 maps? Because I was watching the leaderboards, or am I just not correct informed?
Yeah, literally just got a PV.
You just got a PV, right? Because I think it was 1.450 what I saw, and now you have like 1.43 or something. So congratulations to your PV.
Thanks.
And yeah, is there like ColonelFatso? Do you know why it changed in the end? Has some trouble here and there, or?
Oh, it's just like all the way through X2 and X3 I was playing extremely poorly. Like, there were moments of bad luck, obviously, where I had like bad sponge.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So like,
Did I have any bad luck in X3? I'm trying to think about it. Oh yeah, I had like fucking 6 or 7 drills in Catfish.
Yeah. And what was
God.
also very interesting in X2 was you both had directly the same situation with Centipede, both starting with the tailspin glitch. That was interesting to watch, like no advantage in RNG for both. So most of the time the RNG was not a big deal except the sponge fight, like you already said. It was really interesting that even like in that case it was more the execution than the RNG what changed paces. So that was actually really nice that we have kind of a sync situation.
Yeah, it was a really nice like even distribution of luck throughout the run. Because like I got a little bit luckier in the first game, and then it was erased immediately with the sponge, right? And then after that, we pretty much just got the same luck.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it was really nice race. I hope you enjoyed your 3rd game, and yeah, perhaps you will race privately again to have a revenge or whatever. It was definitely nice to watch. I heard the 2nd race unlucky for you yesterday, so at least you had the 3rd game, and yeah, it was open for everyone. And with that, it's the last match of the tournament. How sad. Hopefully it will be soon something else. Do you want to mention any words? Do you have something to tell? Shoutouts to the Spanish community or the Canadian community, whatever you want. Feel free to say something.
I'm just gonna say that I had like tons of fun doing this tournament. This is a really weird mix of categories that you do in this game, which is very interesting, and it's a good break from just doing your normal any percent 100% grinds. So I had a lot of fun doing that.
Any words from you, fslynx?
Yeah, I agree with what Fatso said. That this was an interesting way to play these games. Something different for what you're used to.
Yeah, and you don't have these late stages, so it's definitely easier.
Yeah. Especially X2. X2 is particularly different.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So with that, I would say, hey, next X tournament will come soon, hopefully. Hopefully everybody who's watching enjoyed our races. And feel free to follow the runners, ColonelFatso and fslynx. And with that, gaming will start to show something new. Yeah, I enjoyed commentating the last race, and I wish you all a wonderful evening, day, or morning, whatever time zone you have. And yeah, see you soon in these channels.
Alright, thanks for commentating, Berlin.
No problem.
I appreciate it.
See you.
See ya, dude.